Welcome back, everybody. Samuel Garza Bernstein is with me. He is the author of Mr. Confidential, the musical. Came all the way from Los Angeles to produce this at Actors Theater of Indiana. And you guys are you and I talked last week.
Yeah, so good to see you again.
And we're you as well. And we're a little further along into the rehearsal period. How's it going?
It's going fantastic. The level of commitment and performance energy is just, I'm astonished every day.
I love the sort of nostalgic feel of this story. And I'm guessing, Don Farrell's not with us this morning, but he plays the role of
Mr. Confidential.
Mr. Confidential. And I suspect he plays this very well.
He's fantastic. You know, we did a workshop of this in New York with Howard McGillen, who's the Phantom, and no disrespect to him, but Don is a revelation in the role.
You think back to the 1950s, and this was a unique publication because it was, for lack of a better term, really a fly on the wall of the rich and famous, and from even boardrooms, and you know. It was arguably the truth, right?
They never lost a lawsuit, yeah. I will say that. And 6 to 7 million readers, more than Time Magazine or TV Guide, were buying this at the newsstand. And it was true when it mattered. When they had silly stories about like why Frank Sinatra was the Tarzan of the boudoir because he ate Wheaties. Well, I don't know that that's so true, but
maybe a stretch there.
Yeah.
But now, one of the sort of you mentioned the lawsuits. Liberace sued them because LA or Mr. Confidential had reported. Or at least alluded to the possibility that he was gay.
Which we all know was not true.
Not true.
Not true.
Not Liberace.
Not Liberace. They ran an article, it was on the cover, and the headline was why Liberace's theme song should be Mad About the Boy. And he sued.
Yeah. And that turned out better in Europe than it did in the United States.
In England, he was able to sue. England had different libel laws, and it was just very, very specific. And they got a couple of the dates wrong, and they got a couple of things and that was enough. So he won in England, but he never went to trial in America because. Well, first of all, it was true.
Yeah, we've got some video of Liberace from back in the day. Liberace from our.
Oh, there he is singing. Oh, yeah, doesn't he look macho? I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
But you know, he worked very hard to, you know, he had a lot of, for lack of a better term, beards that he appeared with to create the impression that he was heterosexual.
Yeah.
So
it was a different time in a lot of ways. However. One of the big stories in Confidential had to do with Van Johnson actually being gay. And 2 years later, he was still starring opposite Elizabeth Taylor in an MGM movie. And so it's confusing in a way. Because did people believe it or not believe it? But, you know, millions of people read that story. And his career was just fine.
And really, Confidential magazine sort of became a model for many subsequent publications.
It did, and they got uglier and uglier with each successive, you know, ugly stepchild. But, you know, what we do with the musical is we really embody the sort of fizzy, fun, Bob, Mr. Confidential himself, his whole attitude was, well, they're rich, they're famous, they're talented. Of course they misbehaved. You would misbehave. I would misbehave. We would go out and get drunk and tear the town up.
All right. Well, the show, we got all the details. Just pass your phone over the QR code there in the corner of the screen, and you can get yourself to Mr. Confidential, Amber.